Welcome back, everyone. Got another video today, and before we get into it, hit that subscribe button, notification bell. When we get off this, go check out our social media channels, all that good stuff. Give us a call, 828-488-3333. We got 3 locations in Western North Carolina to better serve you. So check us out, and if you got any questions, definitely holler. Today's video is going to be about what we thought were the essential items to catch trout. All right. So we went ahead and excluded the obvious ones because we wanted to go a little beyond that. So the obvious ones, and this is an argument that I would love if y'all wanted to have in the comments. So put up there if you think this is, but I think the consensus across the board between myself, Justin, and Dale, because that's who's in the shop today while we were filming this, is your fly might be your number one essential item in order to catch trout. And obviously it can be any fly because every day the fly selection could change depending on type of water or style of fishing or anything like that. But that may be, again, it's up for argument, the most essential item in order to catch a trout. You can decide. But if you don't have a leader and tippet to deliver that fly to the spot you want to, the fly is no good. So this is the argument, right? So leader and tippet was our second one to the essential item to catch a trout. And obviously this is 2 items, but when you buy a leader, if you buy a prepackaged leader, it has the tippet at the end. So we just kind of throw it together as one bulk thing. So, you know, again, good quality leader and tippet, which we got a video on why you should buy quality leader and tippet and fly line and all that. Go check that out. This is essential to get the fly where you want it to so the fish can eat the essential fly that you picked, right? All that good stuff. So, and then it goes even further down the line into your fly rod and reel and fly line. So these were kind of the 3 or 4 essential items of if you don't have a fly rod with a good fly line, with a good leader and tippet, with a good fly, you're probably not going to catch fish. So those are the ones that are obvious, right? And then I feel like from there, it gets kind of personal preference and its own style of fishing, where you're fishing, type of water you're fishing, all that type of stuff that goes into the variables of what you may need on a day in or day out basis of where you're going. So let's get this stuff set to the side. Our good old fly leader tippet, our fly rod, and our fly line out of the way. So what we did is we each made a pile, and you will see that these 3 extra items are things that we all selected, and one of them Justin doesn't have with him today, but I can use something else just as an example, but you'll get the idea. And then Dale's got a couple things, and then I got a couple things that we'll all go through. And funny enough, mine and Justin's, we have 2 that overlap. So that may say something that they're super important, right? So I will do Justin's first. His first one was a good pair of sunglasses. These just happen to be Breakline sunglasses, which we sell. So they come in all different forms. Justin's got a pair right here. You can see these are 2 totally different. He's got some mirrored lenses and stuff. I got mirrored lenses, but the frames and stuff are different.
We have a video on them too.
We got a video on Breaklines, so go check that out. We've done so many videos now. We got almost a video on everything. But why are sunglasses important? Well, for me, it's 2 reasons. One is so that you can see into the water and see fish. So that, to me, is sometimes essential to catching fish. You can be like, man, there's a fish right there, let me cast before I spook him type thing. And then the second reason would be safety. These obviously help you see more into the water, and for wader safety, like wading into the water, you can see things in the water that could be an obstacle, whether it's log that's subsurface that you could trip over or whatever it could be. And then it's also eye protection. You know, we are dealing with hooks, with sharp objects. If you ever get a hook in your eye, that is not going to be a good thing. So by having a good pair of sunglasses on, I should do this whole video with these on. And you could like throw flies at me. Yeah, just flies. Anyways, these would, protect your eyes from potentially a fly getting into it. So no different than if you're on a construction site and needing to wear safety glasses or a face shield or whatever. So just a good idea to have a good pair of sunglasses. I think there's variable reasons for it. So that is one that mine and Justin's overlapped. He had sunglasses on his too. So the second thing that Justin had was a good floatant. This just happens to be the gel bottle, but you got the shake, and then like the that you drop the fly in and actually shake it around. You got the one with the brush. It's the same thing with the desiccant. You got the spray bottles, all that stuff. There's all different types of floatant. We love high and dry. We sell just about every variety that they make. I think they're actually coming out with a couple different things this year that are new to their product line. But a good solid floatant. The fly is super important, but if you're not presenting the fly correctly, then you're not going to catch fish. Most likely, they're going to refuse the fly. So that's another one that me and Justin overlap on because he stole all my ideas that we had for this. So anywho, just got to mess with him a little. Anywho, all right. So the other one that was Justin's third one that he doesn't have on today because again we were in the shop. This is sometimes how it goes, man. You get to talking and you just come up with videos. So it was a water filtration system of some sort that you carry with you on the river, especially if you're doing backcountry stuff. It's super important to stay hydrated. Even if you're fishing right by your car, I think we can all agree that if you keep your water bottle in your car or whatever it may be, you don't go back and get enough swigs of water because a lot of times you don't want to give up your spot, right? So especially if it's a busy Saturday or something like that. But I got my Yeti cup here, so we're going to use it as an example. But something that you can carry water in, whether it be a water bottle, water filtration system, something like that. But a good water filtration system is awesome because it's lightweight. You don't actually have to carry the water with you, and then you can filter the creek water and safely drink it. So maybe something to invest in and look into and see what works best for you. Maybe one day we'll get Justin to do a video on his so that you can see it. We haven't done a video on that, have we, on your film? So that might be one to just mention to people of like, this is a good way to
I've went
to
through
do
like 4 different ones, and this one.
Yeah.
Is the best.
So he's tried 4, and he thinks this is the best one. So maybe we'll do a video on that just for folks out there. So let's jump into Dale's 3 things that we stacked up here. So the first one is a stream thermometer. I think we've talked about this multiple times, whether it be on the podcast or on YouTube or even in the shop if you happen to come in. A good stream thermometer basically tells you when you should be fishing for trout and when you shouldn't be fishing for trout, and when conditions are maybe perfect for that. And this is one of those things that you may use multiple times throughout the day. So you may get there first thing in the morning, check the stream temp, and be like, man, it's perfect, or wow, it's really cold. I'm kind of wasting my time. I'm just going to be practicing casting. Or, if we're in the summer months, it may be something where you are, it's way too hot. So you may take it in the morning, fishing's good, but by lunchtime you take it again and go, man, we're getting kind of high on temperature. We should probably wrap this up. So it's a real important tool that can make you more productive on certain days, and also kind of a safety valve for fish, like when you should and shouldn't be fishing maybe. So that's a good one, I think, a stream thermometer. The second one Dale had, because again, flies are right there at the top of the essential. Dale said a way to carry your flies. So fly box, fly cup, fly patch, whatever you may have. I just grabbed a fly box. But, something like this Umpqua one, which is actually a really nice fly box. I'm going to open it up and show it to you because it's got 3 different styles of carrying flies in it. As you can see, it's even got the magnet and everything for your small little midges, but called the Day Tripper. A good way to carry various flies and things like that so that you will have that essential item. I think that's pretty valuable. And you got to pick the way that some people do use a fly patch. Some people just use a cup full of flies. I've seen people use old medicine like prescription bottles. Fly boxes obviously are a great idea to have an assortment and be able to view everything really nice. That's probably the downside to a fly cup and a prescription bottle, is that you kind of got to stir around in it to find what you want. So good fly box. And then the last one we have, and Dale said this is because a lot of people come in the shop and talk about how they hooked a big fish and then couldn't land it because they didn't have their net. So having a good net, we always recommend one with a rubber basket or a rubber coated basket. It's better for the fish. You can go check out some of our net videos. We talk about that a little bit more extensively in that. But having a good net so that you can land that big fish when the opportunity does come, it makes a big difference in getting a fish to the net or getting a fish to hand. And if it's a big fish and you got, if the conditions are right, not too hot, you can get a nice little photo of that fish. It's kind of important, so a lot of folks to be able to show it to their buddies, friends, family, all that good stuff. Maybe you go home and show it to your spouse or whatever too. So good net, can't argue with that. Before we get into my pile, which has only got one thing in it because Justin stole all my ideas, make sure you comment on this. I'd love to hear other suggestions in this. What are your top 3 things, maybe outside of the rod and terminal tackle setups? Or you can even, you guys can go back and forth on if you think the fly is more important than your leader, or your leader is more important than your fly, whatever you want to do. But I'd love to hear people's ideas of like maybe what are the top 2 or 3 things outside of that they think are super pertinent to their day of on the water. So the last item I had, because I had sunglasses and the floatant, is you could maybe say this kind of falls in the same category as floatant, but it was split shot. I do my best not to use split shot, but there are just days where if you don't have this, you might not catch a fish unless you just have a very good assortment of heavy beaded, maybe tungsten beaded flies. So today is a prime example. We had a bunch of rain yesterday. I think most cases around here, anybody got from like 2 to 5 inches of rain. We had a big storm system move through. It's actually beautiful outside. We got a little wraparound on the back end where we got some snow. So we got a good ½ inch of snow in a lot of spots, or maybe more. But split shot, depending on the size, this is one of those. This has got 4 different sizes in it. So, depending on the size of the fly, the weight of the fly, the speed of the water, the depth of the water, all that stuff. If you can't get the flies down, excuse me, it's going to be hard to catch fish. A good one that's probably consistent on needing either heavy flies, whether you use lead wrap or big bead or both, or some split shot, that's around here when they're running water on the Nantahala. If you're ever floating or wade fishing that lower part of the Nantahala, the rafting section, it's pretty imperative that you get flies down to catch numbers of fish. You can catch fish on streamers and dry flies through that section, depending on the day and the conditions. But if you want to put up numbers, having heavy flies or split shot is going to be a huge game changer for you. So that was my third one outside of the floatant stuff and the sunglasses. So again, definitely in the comments, let us know what you think are maybe your top 2 or 3 things that you think are essential outside of the reel, rod, and terminal tackle that goes all the way down to your fly. And then we've even thought maybe we'll do a podcast about this. So if you guys think that's a good idea, let us know about that in the comments, because I think this could be one of those where we sit there and argue a lot about what we think is important compared to what Justin thinks. So anywho, really appreciate you watching. Remember, hit that subscribe button. And as always, love to see you in the shop or on the water.